guys. Guys, every once in a while, Frank and I come across content from people that are not necessarily in our space, not necessarily in our, I guess you can call our realm, our matrix, what have you, who out of nowhere, express something that Frank and I have been expressing for quite some time. Yesterday I was on Twitter, and just one second, guys, make sure that I'm actually recording here. Looks like I am, but I'm not. Doesn't show. Whatever. Yesterday I was on Twitter, and I saw a gentleman by the name of Bret Weinstein. I don't know if you guys know who Bret Weinstein is. He's a scientist. He was the guy that was famous for being basically barricaded inside his office by a bunch of woke crazies at Evergreen State University for basically essentially refusing to use certain language that they wanted him to use. Like they want you to say certain things and whatever it is. So he kind of got on the national map, him and his brother. His brother is Eric Weinstein. He's also a professor. I think it's Stanford or Princeton, I forget which one. So Bret Weinstein tweeted out yesterday something to the effect of, I'm paraphrasing, that there's some kind of force in the world, malicious force, malevolent force, that basically is operating outside of even the confines of the whole rubric of even money, doing something for money. This is a force that is actually so evil that it's not doing it for money. It actually wants to take away your rights, control you, kill you, and that's it. And I read this and I'm just like, this is so fascinating, because this is something that Frank and I have been saying. We've been talking about from a spiritual perspective, and the crazy part is a lot of people in that thread and in his Twitter comments were asking me, Bret, what do you mean by that? And he started giving kind of vague answers. I tried to post a video that Frank and I made about, basically that there's entities with non-human consciousness, essentially ruling the world right now. My account is kind of shadow banned, so I don't know if you saw it. I don't know who saw that response. But the point is, guys, there are people in the, what I like to call the Joe Rogan world, who are now slowly picking up on what's really going on here. I don't know if they have necessarily the language to be able to articulate, to pinpoint what these entities are, right? Frank and I talk about them all the time. They're mentioned in the Torah. We're talking about Nephilim. We're talking about Shedim. We're talking about sources in the Talmud and the Kabbalah, and just in regular 5 books of Moses. And I see that people are picking up on this, guys. And it seems like there is a confluence of timelines, of different people, of people who live in who operate in different spaces, in different worlds. It's actually crazy, guys, because I always think about, the whole thing of, I don't know if most people know this, maybe people know this. There's a Rabbi Reuven Wolf, and he basically, I have to find the lecture, but basically what he outlined was that when President Trump was in office, he did 16 or 17 things while in office for Israel and for the Jewish people, and by extension for America. He happened to do them on holidays that are celebrated specifically by Chabad Lubavitch Hasidic Jews. We're talking about, Yud Tet Kislev, which is 19th of the month of Kislev, which is coming up, usually falls in end of November, beginning of December, which is the founding of the Hasidic movement, whatever. There's Chei Teves, when the Rebbe's, that's also in January, the 5th of Tevet, when the Rebbe's letters were published. different holidays in the Chabad world, and also just Jewish holidays. And for some reason, and Trump happened to do important things for Israel and the Jewish people on those days. There's like 16 things. One of them was like moving the embassy to Jerusalem. One of them was killing Soleimani. There's a few other things that he did, creating that anti-Semitism, office, and appointing a person who's going to handle that. All these different things. Declaring that the Jewish people are actually a nation. The Jews, like any Jew that's, if there's anti-Semitism, a Jewish person, it's not just a religion, it's a nation. It's essentially a race, it's a nation. Also setting up, I think it was the bill or the order to remove, what's it called? To remove, pull funding from any university that is, allowing anti-Israel people to act on campus. SJP, all these kind of things. Guys, so I was thinking about that because, it almost seems like there's, the mainstream world, and then there are things that are happening behind the scenes that are connected to what's going on, and I don't even know that the mainstream world is conscious of them. Spiritual things that are happening behind the scenes. I don't know if Trump is going to, Ivanka's rabbi and asking, what's an auspicious day for me to kill Soleimani with a drone? I don't know if he did that, right? But it's crazy, guys. And these things are happening. And now we see, for example, guys, it was the holiday of Sukkot, right? This past week, it was the happiest time in the Jewish calendar. You have Yom Kippur, which is actually contrary to what people think, happiest day of the Jewish calendar. You have Sukkot, we call it in Hebrew Zman Simchatenu, the time of our rejoicing, of remembering Exodus from Egypt. So, and what happened in Congress? They got rid of this McCarthy guy. So now, what are we talking about? We're talking about possibly having, the guy who was president, he could become third in line to be president. And then maybe even remove the two people that are president and vice president and become president himself. That's already, guys, I don't know how that would even work, if that could even work. But the point is, guys, all these things are happening. There's all these things happening. It's seemingly here on earth, but these things are really happening on a spiritual plane. And there's things on earth that are playing out on a physical plane that are actually happening on a spiritual plane in reality. And I don't even know that the people who are involved even realize that. You see, this guy Weinstein, right, happens to be a Jewish guy, happens to be a Yid, tweeting about it because he feels it internally like, holy crap, okay, there's other forces at play here. Because you can't, it's not just, when you slice it down, I was saying this the other day, right, when you listen to all the stuff that's going on with the Shmexines, all the stuff with different things, I was just saying, all the evidence that's pointing to all these issues, right? All the studies and all the issues and all the people having problems with it, health problems. And I said to myself, if I was a Martian and I landed today, right, on Earth, and I saw all this stuff and I heard these doctors talking about all these issues, I wouldn't think that the people who orchestrated this did this out of negligence or out of even malice, out of negligence, out of carelessness, incompetence, or even for the money. Guys, this goes deeper than money. They can make money different ways, guys. They don't, I mean, how much money do you need? I hate to sound like a Marxist here, but I'm not. I'm just saying, these guys have enough money already, guys. We understand that they have an ideology. We understand that this is all tied into, what happened after World War II with all these Nazis being brought back to America and also to South America. And all the guys that were kept, around to be heads of NATO and UN and all these different things and EU and all this stuff. This is all tied in, guys, right? So we understand, guys, that this is not about money. This is some sort of malevolent force, that has invaded these people. Or maybe these people were never fully human consciousness to begin with, the people that we're dealing with here, the entities that we're dealing with here. All right? And people like Frank and I realize that, right? There's other people that realize that as well. And this conversation is being had, sort of, And it's also connected to the whole thing of right now what's happening with the UAPs, this reveal, right? And they're talking about, you know, malevolent ones, good ones. Again, I won't even get into that. The point is, guys, people like Brett Weinstein, other people who are, you know, scientists really. I don't want to call them materialists, but classical scientists are getting wind of, okay, they're realizing this is not for the money. This is not for even like power. Well, it is for power, but it's not for like the classical thing of the way you think of power. It's not incompetence. It's not negligence. It's something where they really want to get rid of a lot of people, guys. They really want to get rid of a lot of people, and they want to control, and they want to enslave, and they want the world for themselves. They, you know, their whole ideology, ironically, is that, you know, we're all trapped in these bodies, and you have to release, you know, the souls from the bodies to end this. You know, it's like this whole religion, right? It's a whole gnostic, not agnostic, but gnostic religion. But guys, you notice they're not running to do it to themselves, right? They're happy to stay here and try to develop things that would allow them to be, you know, live forever, right? Anti-aging and all this kind of stuff. It's kind of like when Arafat, right? Yasser Arafat, right? He had this whole ideology, you know, in order to, you know, you want to become a shaheed, a martyr, right? So you follow the Quran, you want to become a martyr. Notice he wasn't running to be a martyr. He was convincing others that the highest form of, you know, achievement, spiritual achievement, is to be a martyr for Islam, for the Quran, for Philistine, for Palestine. Kill a Yahud, kill a Jew. He convinced others to do it, right? He didn't do it himself. After you, my friend, after you. Just like, this is what I tell these guys, you know? That's why they're so full of it, right? The guys that are at these climate conferences, by the way, same group of people, guys. They're on their private jets. After you, bro. After you. You want to live in a cardboard box? After you. You first, my friend. You first. Guys, we realize that the agenda is not with the agenda that they're spelling out. The agenda is something completely different. We understand that. And this is all happening on a spiritual plane, guys. You know, right now it's a race to the, you know, race to the baton, as it were. It is, and they know that. And you see, that's why they're fighting like hell. That's why Hillary Clinton came out and said, you know, maybe we should put these extremist MAGA people in you know, some kind of re-education. Guys, I'm telling you on a practical level, put even the spiritual aside. I'm a former Soviet citizen. Granted, I was a kid when we left. My parents dealt with that stuff for the first 33 years of life. Guys, I'm here to tell you, if we don't put a stop to this, if we don't, it's either going to be, God forbid, like some sort of civil war, or it's going to be like what happened with the Khmer Rouge and Pol Pot, guys, right? Guys, either way you slice it. You know, there's a song, I told this to Frank, there's a song from this Ukrainian, these two guys from Kharkiv, Ukraine, right? And they have a song called Soldat, Soldier, and there's a line in the song that goes, Или я, или он, последний патрон. It's either me or him, and it's the last bullet in the chamber. Guys, it's going to be us or them. If we don't put a stop to these people right now, it's going to be us or them. I'm talking about politically, right? For now, politically, peacefully, right? Because they want us dead. Ultimately, they want us all dead, right? But guys, I'm noticing that there is kind of this awakening, conscious awakening by, you know, what I like to call the, I guess you can call it the intellectual dark web. It's not so dark anymore. And it's waking up. It's waking up to what really is happening. Because they were also thinking, you know, maybe it's just incompetence. Maybe it's just, you know, greed. Maybe it's just power. I mean, it is power, but not in the way you guys are thinking. Classical power. Maybe it's just negligence. Guys, I mean, they're using the system, the negligence, inherent negligence and incompetence of the system to achieve what they want. That's, by the way, why they're going to get caught. Because the people in the system are negligent and incompetent. Right? And they're sloppy. right? The people that are the underlings, the people in the mid-levels and the lower levels, yeah, they're sloppy. The only thing is, guys, we already found out their sloppiness and their whole plan and their whole what they did, but most people don't know it is because this entity still controls the media, all the information flow, right, guys? I mean, we'll get it out there eventually, guys. It's going to get out there, even despite that this entity is controlling the media and controlling, the flow of information. It's going to get out there. It's getting out there, guys. Because ultimately, guys, I'll tell you, if a person like Bret Weinstein can wake up and write a tweet, a very cryptic sounding tweet to most people, there's some kind of force and it's doing something, and it's not just, the money, and it's not just that, it's something malicious, and it wants to harm us. It really, really wants to harm us in an evil way. Guys, I see good things happening based on what I just told you. I see it's not going to be easy. It may not be pretty what's coming up, but I think there's going to be an awakening very, very soon. Zot Hashem. And yeah, guys, it's the end of Sukkot. It's going to be Simchat Torah, Hoshana Rabbah. It's delivered. Rosh Hashanah is when everything is signed. Yom Kippur is when everything is sealed. And today, Hoshana Rabbah, actually, the last day of Sukkot, when it was delivered. And then we have the 8th day, what's called Shmini Atzeret, the gathering, which is actually falls tonight, Shabbat, Saturday. And then we have, if you're outside of Israel, it's 2 different days. In Israel, it's the same day. Yeah, guys, and so next week we start anew with Genesis, and hopefully it will be the start in the Genesis of something great, and a recreation of sorts, a recreation, and hopefully we'll see the light, as it were. Anyway, guys, Shabbat Shalom, and talk to you soon.